welcome back to the channel. This is Mission Keto, and my name is Hope.
I'm Andy.
And this is Ralphie. And this video is kind of gonna be going over the last week and what we went through with Ralphie. If you are on our social medias, we have posted on Instagram and Facebook and the community posts. But in case you're not on those, and we totally understand, we haven't filmed this week, and that was because Ralphie was in the hospital. We had an extremely scary situation happen, and it all started Sunday. Sunday, Ralphie just stopped being interested in food, which is really weird because we were making his food, and he's been so excited about that, and stopped eating. Had an accident in the house, but nothing major. Monday I called our televet, and they were just like, we'll try some bland food and see if that helps, and we did, and he was eating, so we found there was no concern. He's eating canned chicken, you know, with the broth. He was happy, but it was still just not quite himself, and we all know what that's like. Well, go into Monday night, and what happened the next day? Monday night he was hiding. Yeah. He was really not feeling well, stopped eating, threw up a couple times, and then he was hiding, which I hear is not a good thing for dogs when they're sick. But you take over Tuesday.
So Tuesday morning, I had noticed that he had another accident in the house, but there was blood in the stool. Very small, but still very concerning. So I said, hey, we got to get him out of here. So we... it was pretty early. I mean, it was 7-something in the morning. Everything was closed, of course, around here at least. So the place that just up the road from us opened up at 10:30. So I said, we called them. Actually, they opened at 9, right? No, actually, they opened at 8. Sorry, they opened at 8, but they couldn't get us until 10:30. So we rushed up there, and they took them in. They were awesome. Absolutely awesome. Immediately took them in, and just talking to the doctor and stuff, right? I mean, it just seemed like he was sick.
We figured a stomach virus. He maybe got into something, because that's what they kept asking us. Has he gotten into anything? And we're like, no. You know,
and then they took him back.
They're like, let's do x-rays and blood work and urine. And we're like, okay. And I had a bad feeling. I don't think I told you this. I had a bad feeling that it was like the C word. But I was not expecting this. So she came in and
just had this look on her face, and I'm like, uh-oh, I don't like the look that she's got. And she said, I'm shocked at it. It wasn't what she was expecting either. And he had diabetes, or has diabetes. I shouldn't say had. He has diabetes. And because, I mean, we have no idea how long it's been going on, no clue. He didn't show any signs of, you know, he was his normal self until Sunday. So we have no idea how long this has been going on. So because of the diabetes, it led to pancreatitis, and then he also had a UTI.
And severe hydration. Dehydration, I'm sorry.
Dehydration, because, I mean, he was drinking a lot of water, we had noticed. But when she had lifted up, you know, his gums. Mouth there, she saw his gums were like dry, right? Or sticky. Yeah. So she said, we got to get him in like now. So, but they weren't a 24-hour location. So we had to go down to Ormond Beach, and they immediately took us there. They were awesome as well. They were
awesome, yes.
And that was on Tuesday late morning. And they already had all of his information because of the place A sent the information down there. So they wouldn't do anything repetitive, right? So they wouldn't do the blood work again. They wouldn't do the x-rays again. They had everything already. So when we got there, we walked in, we told them who they were, and they took him immediately to the back. And he wasn't, he just wasn't himself. You know, he wasn't jumpy,
he was getting
bouncy.
More and more lethargic, and he wasn't reacting to other animals, and that's a big thing for him. So we had some moments of very, very scaredness. I don't know how to say it. And leaving him there, just not knowing what the outcome was very difficult. Lots of tears going on this week.
because with him not being here was, because the first time we've ever been really away from him was recently when we had gone on vacation when our friend Nancy took him.
Yeah.
And that's about the longest he'd ever really been away from both of us together. So that was our vacation and stuff, right? This was something totally different. And yeah, it was a rough couple of nights. So the place from where we live was about 40 minutes roughly, give or take, because of traffic and stuff. And we went there twice a day. I mean, I went there during the day and then came back. And then Hope gets off work at 5-ish, and we hot-tailed it back. And just to let him know, hey, listen, we're not abandoning you. We're here.
Yeah, and it was like, it could either go both ways. It could go, it's a very good thing if you come visit, or it could really make them angry and more anxious. But it worked for him. I'm a proud parent of this pet, and I have to say, I really think that he's super smart, and he was really listening to what we were saying, because he was putting the key words together, because he would not eat. He didn't eat for 2 days. Oh, and another thing, remember a couple weeks ago, he had his wellness checkup and he was fine. He was fine. I told you he had lost a little bit of weight. Between that time and a week and a half later, he had lost 2.5 more pounds. So that was also very scary. We didn't realize it too. So it was just like, oh my gosh, another 2.5 pounds. So this is something more than just changing his diet. And we will say this about diabetes in a dog. We were, is it something we've done or whatever? And they said no. They said diabetes in dogs is different than humans. It doesn't have to do with diet or anything. It does now. Like, we have to be careful now. But it's not what caused it or started it. What it is it could be genetic. It could be just random. And who knows how long he had it, but something triggered it, and everything else started happening. And so, but they were very good. They said, you can call anytime you want. You can come anytime you want. Just call us ahead of time so we're not in the middle of doing something, testing or something. And they said, we call you twice a day. The doctors call you in the morning and in the evening just to give you an update. And it was always good things. And every day it was better and better. He had one thing on his side, was his youth. That was why the doctor was so shocked, because this doesn't happen in dogs this young. He is going to be 5 next month. So they were calling him 4. He's still 4. And they're like, this doesn't happen in these young little dogs. And so that's why it was so shocking. And he will have this for the rest of his life. And the funny story, you tell the funny story about every day when we would see him and talk to him.
So Wednesday, when we went back there Wednesday, and he just, again, he was so lethargic. He didn't respond to us really. He was happy to see me when I first got there in the morning.
He was hydrated. That's what he looked like. He was more hydrated.
Yeah, his eyes were a little more open, but he was just still out of it. And he literally, when they handed him to me, he just kind of laid on my chest, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, well, he's not moving. So started talking to him, just saying, hey, buddy, we got to try to eat something. And they did bring me some food. They gave me 3 different varieties of food. He just, he just wasn't interested. So I tried, it didn't work. And then we came back that evening and tried again. He just wouldn't do it. So had a conversation with him. And I said, buddy, listen, you've got to eat. You got to do this. If you want to go home, you've got to eat. And so after we left, a few hours later, about 9 o'clock, the doctor called us and said, well, he did sniff, because he was he did sniff the chicken that they gave us. So I said, maybe try this later on after we're gone. Well, when she called us, she said, well, it must have worked, because he did sniff the chicken, but he ended up eating tuna. And then it was on from there. He started chowing. He had... By the next morning, right? I think it was, he had already eaten 3 times at that point. And so I said, okay, so that's a good sign. Then numbers were looking good. So I went back Thursday morning, and he was bouncing off the walls.
And they had said that he was already starting to react to dogs again. He would hear the doorbell from the front door and start barking. And I was like,
okay, he's
My
back.
annoying little boy is back.
So that was that. And then we went back again Thursday night. Things were even better. He ate.
Running
and
around.
he was running around just being his normal self, looking at us and just like,
let's go.
I want to go home. You know, that was his thing.
You're cute.
And what's cool is I'll see if I can, I've got video of it. It's really cool. And we'll put some pictures up too as well, so you guys can see kind of like the progression. But I had my keys and my phone. Everything was sitting right here on a chair, and he kept just kind of sniffing around that area and just kind of looking. I just didn't catch it at first, and then later on I caught it on the video. I'm like, oh, he knows when I grab my keys off the key holder up here. He knows what the keys are, and that means that we're about to leave. So he was like just giving me a clue.
Kept looking at the keys.
Grab your keys. We need to get out of here. We need to make a break and run. And I'm like, oh wow, he's wanting to go.
Yeah.
So that was Thursday, and then they were kind of giving us hints at that point. Hey, look, it might be tomorrow. But we were only waiting on his ketones.
His
right?
ketones in humans are different than dogs also. This is all ironic because it's opposite of human stuff, but his ketones were skyrocketed and they were not coming down. But the fact that he was eating started that process. Once he ate, they could inject him with glucose instead of doing the constant IV of it. And that's what started triggering things, and the ketones finally started coming down. Yes.
So he turned for the better, and then they were giving us clues like, okay, Friday's looking pretty good. So Friday morning we talked to them, and they were, hey, look, looks like it's going to be today sometime.
They just have to be careful, and they have to make sure he's good. So they wanted to watch him that whole day, do another dose of the glucose, and monitor that before they send us home with it to start doing it.
But at this point, he had enough.
He was done.
He was done. He was barking at them. They said that he started to snip at them, which he's not like that with us or anything. He wasn't like that with one girl. She really liked him. She was so cool. She sent us a couple of pictures of her and him outside enjoying the sun.
Yeah.
You know, I said, wow, that's so cool that they're doing that with him.
Yeah, she enjoyed spending time with him.
But he was having none of it. He was like, look, my mom and dad said,
I do this.
I got to eat.
Yep.
And I got to get these ketones down. I'm out of here. And he did it. He was working on it. And I'm glad. So like I said, I was going in the mornings, but I'm like, you know what? They're going to send him home. So I'm not going to go down and come back, pick you up, and then go back down. So I didn't go Friday morning, and I'm glad I didn't, because when we got there Friday night, oh my goodness, if he could have just ran through the wall, he would have done it.
Yeah.
He wanted nothing to do with them. He was
even
ready
the one
to
he
leave.
really liked. He was done. He was done. And when she came in, he ate again for us, and then they had to go through all the motions of everything with us, so we knew what to do and discharge and all of that. And she came back in at one point, and he started yelling at her. He was barking like crazy, and he's like, I'm done. Don't take me. Go pick on somebody else. That's exactly what it was like.
Out.
So I picked him up, and while she's talking to me, I looked at him and I said, we're going home. We're going bye-byes. And he was shaking and everything, and he stopped shaking, and he was just like, I'm done. And they treated him very well there.
Yeah, they did.
But
they were awesome.
He is a creature of habit, and he loves his routine and all of that, and so crazy.
So now he's going to get 2 shots a day, but he has to eat. So
he's on a special diet now too.
So 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And it's a 2-person job. So this morning we did it for the first time. They showed Hope how to do it, because I had to leave yesterday to go to Publix to get his insulin. Yeah. Because it was Good Friday, and they're like, you better get out of here because we don't even know if any of the pharmacies were open.
Right.
And thankfully they were. So had to run out, get that, plus some syringes and stuff, and hot tail it back, because they didn't give us anything, right? They gave us a shot last night, and we needed insulin
we
for
have his
this
prescriptions.
morning.
He's got some meds for like anti-nausea, some pain meds, and he's still on antibiotics for all the other stuff. thankfully those are going to run out soon, because we can't give him anything except his food and his insulin. He can't have any snacks, nothing. So I have to shove these things down his throat, which is awful. So I'm glad those are not an everyday thing for the rest of his life.
But yeah, so it's 7 a.m. So we gave him a shot this morning, and then I don't even know what time it is right now, but 3 something.
It's 4 o'clock. So he's got a few more hours, and this is a longer stretch of time between eating for him too. So it's and we did give him not a lot, but cheese.
Yeah.
He came in from whatever, or he'd have a bone to chew on, and I don't even think he can have that yet. We still have some unanswered questions, but we're willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Dogs are very quick to adapt. It's just a new normal for him, but
because he's used to, if we take him outside to go do his 1 or 2 and he comes in, he'll get a little piece of cheese or something, he'll get, or one of his bones, So right now we're not doing that. We did try. She did mention to give him green beans.
That's really the only thing, if he needs something,
but
he's not
he didn't
doing
want
that
it.
right
So
now.
yeah, so we're gonna go here, do a follow-up with, we're hoping that the place that we went to first will actually accept new patients, and we'll go with them because they were awesome. We do go with Banfield. The only thing with Banfield was they're great for like the normal
twice a year visits, just your wellness checkup.
When we called them, hey, we need to get, we'll see you like Thursday or Friday. Nah, that's not going to work.
It would have been too late.
Not like that. So
yeah, and we called 2 different Banfields. They're not prepped for emergencies, and so he's got this lifelong issue now that we have to have somebody ready for him, and so we're going to be switching that over. But
so we're hoping this place, the first place that we went to, it's literally
right
5 minutes from our house. And the doctor was awesome. She was great.
So awesome.
And
just very sweet and kind. And you could tell they loved animals.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere that we've been this week, they've loved animals. I didn't always get that vibe from the other place, and that's okay. But a couple of things I wanted to say. First of all, I wanted to say thank you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the prayers. When we posted this out there on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, I think we might have even done a couple of the community on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we were communicating, because we didn't make a video. We were like, we can't do it. We couldn't focus on that.
I couldn't talk about it yet either. So
the prayers and the well wishes that came in
we felt them
amazing. We really felt them, and I know he did too. So we so appreciate that. Trust me, we were praying too, because a lot of people say you got to pray as well. Listen, we weren't sleeping to tell you this little guy has made such an impact. He's been with us now since he was a puppy.
May 2020.
during the COVID, when that happened, that's when we got him, and I was home. Hope had to work outside of the house, and I was home, and I basically brought him up, taught him how to do number 1, number 2 outside, fed him, do all that stuff with him. And so that's all he knows. We were home, and then Hope got the job to work from home. So that's all he knows is just us. And
we're just as much obsessed with him as he is with us.
It's crazy what he's done to pull us and we ask, he's not a human, and of course, some people are like, well, he's just a dog. No,
they get it. Those that get it,
those that get it exactly. And he is one of a kind. Let me tell you, and we love him to death. And I told Hope, whatever it takes, we'll figure it out. Whatever it's going to take to get him better, we'll do it. I'll sell my car. I don't care. It didn't matter. We would have done it. And of course, if there was if there wasn't a minute chance,
right,
of course, but
they said he was young.
Yeah, the doctor's
young.
Like, that's
He's
what
got
he's got.
He's got a chance, and so it is very pricey.
Yeah.
It was very pricey, and we are blessed that we were able to take care. We were able to take care of it for them, but we still owe.
yeah, they got paid.
Yeah, they got paid, but we still owe. And so if you see a lot of YouTube videos coming out on our channels, that's why, because we've got a new momentum going here. And if you need something that we have links for,
please use
please
it.
use it.
we got some things we got to take care of for him, but that's okay, you know. And then of course we got the insulin that's going to be coming in now for the rest of his life. Which actually I was shocked. When I went to Publix, the first Publix I went to, they didn't have it. So she's like, you have to go to another one. And I said, and then she started talking about the generic side of it. And she's like, well, we don't have either one of them. And I said, well, I'm just curious, how much is the
real one?
The real one, right? The real brand. And I'm just waiting. I'm like $500-$600. I'm like, oh God, please don't let it be. And she goes, oh, it's $50. And she thought I was going to be upset. It was $50. I'm no, listen, let's get it now.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. And, maybe later on down the road, but let's get this now. If that's all you guys have right now, let's get that now. And we'll figure out the generic side of this later, but I need this now.
And it lasts a while. It's this little tiny thing, but he only gets 2 units twice a day.
Yeah, it's like so little.
So minimal. But, and then his food, I don't even know how much that's going to cost yet. They gave us a few days worth, and then Monday we've got to go and get some more. He's loving it so far. But the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I mean this I mean this so kindly when I say it, so please understand, if you've had any experience with diabetes in a dog, and it's negative, please don't comment. I don't want any negativity. I don't want to have that in my head. I wish whatever, if you've had something happen, I wish that it's good and all of that, but I'm really trying not to Google. I don't want any negative stuff in my head about this. I want to go completely off of what the doctors have told us.
Just well wishes. That's it. Yes,
just well wishes. And I mean that, so I hope you understand what I mean. And I know everybody usually says things out of kindness and helpfulness, but in this case, I don't want it it in my head.
Yeah, we're going by what the doctor says, not what YouTube says.
And what experiences other people have had. Everybody's different. So
well wishes, prayers. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all we're going to need. We see anything like that, I'm probably going to be the one that's looking. It's coming off.
Yeah.
So don't even waste your time. And I'm hoping that I'm not sounding like a jerk and all that stuff, right? But we just don't want to hear it. We're going to go by what the doctors are saying.
Yes.
And we're going to follow their plan. They're the pros, not YouTube.
Yeah.
Not the YouTube comment section. Again,
well, I even had somebody at work that said, oh, I know somebody that works here that their dog went through that. If you want me to connect you with them. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, but no.
Everybody's different.
Yep.
Every dog is different. Every human is different. We all go through these things very differently. So, yeah. So again, please,
yeah.
Just be kind.
I think everybody understands. Yeah. And I think they mean well. We know you mean well, but we just don't want to, think of what could happen or couldn't, because we've been through that last week. And what's happening now is he's on the mend and he's got many years left and all of that. So just again, thank you. We've witnessed a miracle this week. Out of the blue too. Out of the blue.
Yeah.
And
it was an absolute miracle. Our prayers, your prayers, they were answered and quickly, because they were telling us too. It's like we've seen it where they've been in here for weeks
without being lethargic.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, my boy, he's gonna get it done.
Yeah,
and he got it done.
So I also want to take a minute to thank God. Thank God for answering these prayers, because everything happens for a reason, and I get it, but
God is good.
He is
all the time. All the time, God is good.
Yep. So
absolutely, we're very, 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 very thankful.
Yes.
Very. You guys, I shouldn't say you have no idea. Some of you, you know the pets and how they are, and he's our little guy.
Yep. And he's doing great. He's just tired right now. I think some of the medicines, and I think the stress of this week is catching up with him. So he's just really relaxing.
He was barking at their mailman.
I was so proud.
I
was so proud because that's him. That's him. That means that his personality is back.
When they had this little bell that would ring when somebody was trying to get to the back room or something, and they were like, does he normally react to like your doorbell? I'm like, oh yeah. And they said, oh my goodness, he's gotten all spunky now when the bell's ringing. And it was funny. And then every time, I thought this was kind of cool too. Every time they would call us, and say, hi, are you Ralphie's parents? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, he's staring at us right now. I'm like, how does he even know that you're
He must
talking
have
to
heard
us, right?
Ralphie's parents. He
So
heard his
he
name.
just
and
clued in, like, you better give him good news.
He's so smart.
Yeah, he's a smart boy. He's a dog. Come on, we're being
He's
silly.
so smart. No.
But he is. He's super smart, and he figured it out. Like I said, when I was talking to him,
It's the key words,
he just
I
picked
think.
up on the
Yeah.
eyes, and he just, hey, you got to get this done. And right after he started eating, I said, all right, next thing is got to fix these ketones, and he got it done too. So hey,
He's like, I don't know what they are, Dad, but I'm gonna fix them.
I got it taken care of. So they shaved his
neck
neck
over
area.
here because he had a central line in,
and then one of his paws.
and one of his arms has it was where his IV was. So.
Yep. So that's going to take a little bit of time to grow in, and
But he's gonna be okay. We've just gotta.
He's been very relaxed.
Yeah.
He's been enjoying it. I actually took him outside, and he enjoyed just sitting out in the sun for a little while.
Yeah. We took a walk earlier too.
This morning he just what it was about an hour, right?
Yeah.
He just laid with us because normally he gets hot. He just bolts out and gets on the ground or whatever, and he just chills. But this morning he stayed in bed with us and was very cuddly. So
yeah,
I think he's very happy to be home. But yeah, so
one thing we got to
one thing we got to do too is I want to get him his diabetic
little tag here.
Little tag. We're also going to make a video. I don't know if we're going to post it necessarily on here. Don't know. We haven't really decided about it yet.
It could be an unlisted one.
It could
unlisted, it could be just for the girls. But
we want our family to know how to take care of him, and God forbid something happens to us, they need to know how to take care of him too. So we're going to do that as well. And then another thing we want to do is the one thing that after I thought about all of this and what happened, especially the day of when they told us how much this was going to be. And now this was 2 places, right?
Yeah.
The first place wasn't anywhere near as high as the second place, but the second place was he stayed there. Was the cost, right? And after I thought about everything and I said, look, it's good. We got it. And we applied for care credit, right? So if you listen, if you can do it, get care credit. And also we didn't have pet insurance, but we're actually looking at into that now. Because we just thought, I don't know, I just thought Banfield was good enough, but it wasn't. So we learned, live and learn.
Insurance, yeah.
But so we're actually going to look at it now. We're looking at something called Pet Best, but we can't get it right now because it's so close to him
pre-existing. Yeah.
But I think in about probably 5-6 months or so, we'll probably be able to get it for him. But I thought about those folks that, afterwards I said, well, what happens if someone walks in here, they have the same situation or something worse, and they can't get the help that they need?
We had to pay. We had to pay before the care.
Yeah, we had to pay before the care, not after.
Yeah.
And so, I said, we just thought about it. I'm like, what happens to these folks that these things happen to? And I asked someone that used to work at that same place that we were at. And one of the things that he had mentioned was, or a couple of things that he had mentioned was that they will have to surrender the animal. And
if they think they can
save the animal, then if they can't afford to pay for the animal to get their health back, they have to surrender the animal to the shelter. And then if the dog, cat, whatever is doing, the hospital is doing better, then there's a chance that they will just have someone adopt that animal. And I'm like, what? I said, I wouldn't even know what to do in that situation.
I mean, it's great that the animal still lives, but I couldn't, to make that horrible decision, or obviously the alternative is euthanization. So
that's something that we want to look into, right?
Because that's a horrible thing for somebody to have to make that decision. And so are there organizations out there that we don't know about, that can step in and help people like that? But it's so quick. I mean, it was a whirlwind, wasn't it? It was like, do, here's the plan, here's the course of action, here's what we expect it to cost, pay, okay, now you're good.
Listen, it reminded me of when my dad passed away, and going into the funeral home and they're just like, hey, sorry this happened to you, but here's the cost. You know, and I was like, whoa, well, what do we do in a situation like this? So again, this is something, you know, that we're learning.
Internally,
you know, I wish we would have probably known, because we didn't go through this with our older
Beast.
cat and dog. You know, Rico survived till he was 13, and you know, when he started getting sick and all that stuff, it was just time for him to go because he couldn't walk anymore. Memphis, our cat, she was 12, right? And she had cancer that we didn't know. You know, she just kind of happened quickly. So, you know, it was time. They were already older, so there wasn't much we could do for them anyway.
Right.
But with him, he's about to turn 5, so
he's got a whole life ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go. So he's just chilling right now.
He is. He's tired.
Pick him up and see if we can show him real quick. Come here, Ralph.
He just sat down.
Nah, he's just relaxing.
Yeah. We'll just make sure we pop up photos. I know this is very long, 30-minute video. Sorry, guys, but we wanted to... I know a lot of you were probably wondering what the heck happened because we didn't tell you any details, but I didn't want to put it out there either. I just wanted to focus on getting him home. We did not... This was a week. We didn't eat. We didn't really do much of anything, and it was awful.
Just had our minds on him day and night, like what's going to happen here. So, but you know, again, prayers were answered. Thank you all so much. We so appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're back. So videos coming up soon.
Yes. After this one, we've got one coming tomorrow on Mission Keto, Mission Carnivore. We're making something delicious on Sunday, so be prepared for...
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I found it on Facebook. Yeah. On one of the carnivore keto.
It wasn't carnivore.
No?
No, it wasn't.
It might be like a keto. I think it's keto carnivore recipes. I think that's what the page is.
But it had pasta in it.
Oh, then it wasn't then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll find something.
Yeah.
And it might not be.
We're going to adapt.
Yeah, we just make it our own. So. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hey, remember... codes.
Use
if you
the
need
links.
Something, use those links for us.
Everything's
please.
on our website.
Yes, everything's on the website. So, all right. Thank you all so much. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate it. We love y'all.